All right, look, before I get started, actually, before I do anything, guys, please consider subscribing, commenting when you disagree with me. It really helps the channel out, and I love to argue. So I'm gonna be in those comments arguing with you. Before I get started, a lot of you guys are gonna actually get mad at me. Do I care? A little bit, so don't be hurtful. Now, this is why Islam versus ILLIA is not the fight you think it's gonna be. Also, you guys can probably tell that's ILLIA walking away from Max Holloway, man. I had to cut it out. I had to cut it out. Anyway, I started this with is ILLIA 190 pounds? Guys, I don't. I wrote, does it rain piss? Um, I don't know what ILLIA's coach is flipping smoking. ILLIA Topuria, that brother is not 190. I think in this video, he's max 175. Absolute max 175. And as you guys know, he's not in a training camp. No fight has been announced. We think the Volk fight is what's coming up next. It should be what's coming up next. But this brother is not anywhere close to 190 pounds. I don't know why his coach is saying that. Maybe it's sort of an excuse for ILLIA not being the most active champ. Maybe it's because they want to make that Islam fight, and saying he's 190 will sort of remove that question of is ILLIA heavy enough to actually hang with Islam. But I mean, it does it rain piss? Valid answer to that. Now, ILLIA fans, sorry about the flippant image quality, but it is what it is. ILLIA fans, don't get mad at me. I actually think ILLIA's a super entertaining fighter. But we got to talk about this. Bryce Mitchell took down ILLIA Topuria and held him there for a bit. I don't see a world where Bryce Mitchell could be 250 pounds. I don't see him ever flipping taking down Islam Makhachev. Like, let's be real for a second. If Bryce Mitchell can do this to ILLIA, Islam's going to hold down ILLIA for 25 minutes easy. We know these Dagestani guys, all they do is this style of wrestling where they take you down, they hold you there, they do some damage, they tire you out, and then they look for the finish. I'm not saying Islam finishes ILLIA. That's not what I'm saying, even if I believe it. I'm saying Islam has the potential to genuinely take down ILLIA and hold him there for 25 solid minutes. It won't matter how much power ILLIA has in his hands, which I believe he probably has the power to knock out anyone from 145 to 170. I mean, God knows what he'd do to 125ers, right? I know. I basically included this slide out of peer pressure because, my God, ILLIA fans, I don't know if it's Spanish people or Georgian people, but my God, do they ride or die for this brother? And you got to respect it. I mean, like, what do I say, man? Look what he did to Bryce Mitchell in the end. Bryce, I think ILLIA did this for the future comments Bryce was gonna make, because this brother Bryce wowed him, man. But yeah, look, it's complete domination. Like, my previous slide. This is not to say that Bryce Mitchell was giving ILLIA a really rough time. No, I know ILLIA Topuria absolutely dogged the living hell out of that man. But my whole point is ILLIA Topuria was given some trouble on the ground by Bryce Mitchell, who is like a small 145. Like, he belongs in that weight class. I don't even know how much weight he cuts, but it's not going to be more than 10 pounds. Like, the brother's small, and he was able to take ILLIA down. Obviously, ILLIA dominates on the ground. That is what it is. ILLIA's a black belt. He deserves that black belt. He's amazing. And then he's got that awesome boxing style. um but essentially, my whole point is that this man, this absolute specimen, is at 155. Arman Sarukian. Do I believe Ilia Topuria can even beat Arman? That's a real question. We keep talking about this Islam Makhachev, Ilya Topuria. That's the fight to make. I don't think Ilya beats the number one contender at 155, which is Arman. And truth be told, I think that's the fight to make. The main reason being, Islam doesn't want to rematch Arman. We've seen it time and time again. Islam Makhachev says, I hate rematches. It's boring during the fight camp. It's hard to motivate myself. I think Arman's the guy to fight. Ilya wants to prove he can hang at 155. Islam wants to see him prove that. Who else is there? This is a guy who's got very good wrestling, very good striking, and I'm actually kind of surprised that Ilya hasn't called out Arman. Arman's an exciting fighter. He's obviously not as exciting as Dustin, who is just stand and bang. But the whole point is we want to see, can Ilya Topuria actually compete with Islam? Lastly, Islam doesn't want to fight Ilya. He said it time and time again. He said, I don't want to give another small guy a chance. So what does Islam do next? Well, one of the answers is Bilal Muhammad. I mean, if you look at the picture, the Instagram picture on the left, we see them next to Ali Abdulaziz, the manager for both of these guys. Islam is just as tall, if not taller than Bilal. And I mean, look at their physiques. I don't get how Bilal weighs more. Is it the legs? Are the legs hidden? Is it feet? I don't know. I know it's not bone density. Like, I don't get how these two compete at different weight classes, to be honest. And what I wanted to talk about is Bilal on the right. I would never fight Islam Makhachev 100%, but honestly, he could go up to 185 and beat Dricus du Plessis right now. I don't know, brother. I don't know. We have the same manager. We will do something. We will see, is what Islam says. And I think what the general MMA community is essentially gathering from this, Islam wants that fight. Islam wants that fight. I know we saw Khabib with Henry Cejudo in that interview saying, I don't want either of them to fight, but if they do, I will be in Islam's corner. Man, I think that's the fight to make. I think Islam jumping up to middleweight, completely unrealistic. Even if he does that, how do you get back down to lightweight? I mean, Javier Mendez, Islam's coach, spoke and said Islam would have to put on muscle. I know he's got the skills, I know he's got the strength, but he just need more muscle. He just needs more muscle on his frame. Well, let me tell you, Islam Makhachev looks like he's dying to get down to 155. If he puts on another 10 pounds, 15 pounds of muscle, that weight cut is impossible. So I just don't see a world where he goes up but he comes back down. Now, if the plan is to open the great gateway up for Usman, makes a lot of sense. But right now, I think Islam is waiting for that Shavkat Bilal fight, and then he's fighting the winner of that. Now, to circle back to the original question, what happened with Islam versus Ilya? I think, genuinely, I think we'll never see. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching this. Have a nice day, man.